When we create objects, generally it reflects a real object where there is content that has a natural grouping together. So if we take something that when we look out the window, we see a car is a great example of an object. So all the cars, relatively the same, they're all going to have 4 tires, but each one of these cars, so one might be a different make, like a Mustang, it might be a different brand as well. There's different colors, there's different years they're made, there's different values that they have, so different costs, prices, as well as they might have some different functions or methods that they are able to do that some of the other cars might not be able to do. And so this is ideal when you think of objects in order to place all of that information into an object format that then you can utilize. So the objective of this lesson is to try this out. So look at the car that we've got below, create an object around that car, and then add in the functionality where if we do my car drive, then it says, it returns back in the console, I'm driving Mustang, referencing the make, vroom vroom, and then also add in a park method where we can do the my car park, and then it can say the Mustang is parking or the Ford is parking, and use some of the values that are contained within the object. So you can pause the video here, try this out, and I'll walk you through the solution coming up. I hope you had an opportunity to construct that car, and you could use another car too if you didn't want to use the Mustang, of course. So first of all, we declare the myCar object. So it's got nothing in it. Now there's a number of ways that you could have accomplished this. You could have had this all in one, or you could have had the myCar, creating that main container object, and then add to it. So that's the way that I'm going to do it. I'm going to add in color. And either way that would have been correct if you did it either way. So in this case, we're just going to do it on separate lines. So we've got my car. What else did we have? We had brand as well. So the brand for it is a Ford. And then my car. And we'll also do a make and the make of this. So you've got a lot of information that's contained within the my car, and it's all relevant. It's all within that same grouping, and it's really easily to see how this fits together. So let's say you wanted to get information about the car, and you want to get a bunch of different cars, so you want to get the prices of those, the makes of them, and so on. So this is where the logic of when you create these objects that you can group things together, and this is where you got to think of it logically, how you can group things together and how all of this information can fit together. So we did have some values here. So we've got a color, brand, make. So let's try that out. And usually I do like to try it out in the console just to make sure that things are working as expected. So see, we've got all this information being dropped into the object. So the other part of this challenge, so of course there was a 2-part to this challenge, and the other part is to add in some methods. And we did want one to drive. So this is setting up that anonymous function and then doing whatever you want it to run. So the block of code that you want to run is contained within this function. And for this time, we're not going to be returning anything. We're just outputting it into the console. So we can use template literal again as well as we did before. So I have a message. So I'm driving, and then let's add in the make. And that's the nice thing about it, is that we can reference this and return back all the information that we've got contained within the object. So we've got this make, I'm driving, or it should say driving my Mustang because you're driving it. And then you can use any piece of information that's contained up here. And then we just simply had vroom, vroom. So I think that's what sound a car makes there. So we've got the drive, and then there was one more that we wanted to add in, and that was my car park. And so again, anonymous function. And what block of code do you want to run within this function? So we just want to have a console message. And I'll use the template literals again, so the little backticks there. And we can say parking the car, or instead of car, let's use some of the information contained within the object. So we can use this. Let's use parking the Ford. Now go into the console and we'll see what's contained within the my car. So you've got all of this information, plus you've got the 2 methods as well. So let's try one of those methods, and one was drive. And so don't forget to include the rounded brackets, otherwise you're not going to invoke the function. So it's just going to return back that function. So that's not what we want. We want to make sure that we invoke the function and we say, I'm driving my Mustang, vroom, vroom, and maybe we could even add a few more O's there, so it makes it a little bit more powerful. Let's try the other one as well. So we've got my car and park. And we'll see what happens, parking the Ford. So everything is working perfectly. So go ahead, try this out, get familiar with it. You can even challenge yourself, add in some more information contained within the car, and as well add in some additional methods in order to get a fully functional car. And you can also change the car as well and have different functions, different values. And we're going to be revisiting this later on when we look at more object-oriented programming. So for now, get familiar with creating this type of object.